Hey everyone, this is my first Star Rail video you will see in the channel. I thought it would be pretty nice to mix up the content here and there. I'm still somewhat new to explaining what makes a character good and bad, but I feel pretty confident about this one. Anyways, update 2.6 is around the corner, and the rerun banners are looking pretty stacked, so today we're going to talk about Acheron, arguably the best DPS character in the game right now. As a day 1 Acheron owner, I can say that it will probably stay that way for a long time. Remember to sub and like if you enjoyed the video, let me know if you enjoyed this type of content for Star Rail, and I could try working on one for Adventurine, if you guys are interested. So what makes Acheron so good and why does she stand out? The first thing that stands out is Acheron being a nihility character. This by itself is already different. You would think that she would be similar to Kafka since they have the same path and element, but despite that being the case, Acheron has a completely different playstyle. Being a crit-based nihility DPS is very interesting since there has only been Welt that could fit that playstyle before her release. And since Acheron is a nihility character, she doesn't follow the same limitation and problems as Hunt, Erudition, or even Destruction characters. This can easily be shown by how good she is in every endgame mode we have. She's good in MOC, Pure Fiction, and Apocalyptic Shadow. These game modes are usually favored towards certain characters, and the fact that she's top tier in all three of them says a lot. Let's take a closer look at her kit and explain why it makes Acheron so good in the first place. Unlike almost every other character in the game, Acheron doesn't need energy to get her ult. Instead, she needs to get 9 stacks of Slash Dreams, which is her own unique mechanic that can be gained by applying debuffs to enemies. This includes your entire team, so with proper team building, Acheron can get her ult back faster than most characters in the entire game. Acheron's domain expansion, she gains an absurd amount of self-buffs and ignores resistances when using her ult. The Crimson Knot mechanic makes her feel like a Hunt, Erudition, and Destruction character all in one. On top of all of that, her ult decreases the toughness bar no matter if they're weak to lightning or not. As new characters get released, you will start to notice a pattern that they will either implant weaknesses or reduce the toughness bar regardless of the element. Acheron isn't the first character to do this, however, it started to matter much more around the time that she was released, since some enemies will occasionally not have a weakness, or their toughness bar just can't be outright reduced. So what exactly does this mean, besides Silverwolf being useless? As a whole, Acheron can brute force through every piece of content in this game has to offer. This is a big reason why you see Acheron topping every tier list you come across. She makes grinding very easy since her technique can insta-kill most enemies in the overworld and in simulated universe. Another reason why Acheron is used a lot is because her teams are quite versatile. The majority of her teams are going to have 2 other Nihility characters and a sustain, and preferably a preservation unit with that one Topaz light cone, since it helps Acheron get stacks even faster since it applies a burn. Having 2 Nihility characters mean a few things. It opens up the door for Harmony characters to be used on the other team, since these characters generally lack debuffing application, and Acheron doesn't get as many self-buffs. Even with E2 in consideration, having 1 less Nihility character will lower the rate at which you get Acheron's ult, unless that Harmony character is either Bronya or Sparkle. This also means Acheron is very future-proof as a character, since future Nihility characters are only going to expand the potential for any Acheron teams down the line. The new version of Tingyun is already confirmed to be Nihility, so even if she's rumored to be DOT or Super Break support, you could always run a Super Break Acheron. Despite being one of the best characters in the game, she must have some problems, right? Well, yeah, it's not like there's a flawless character in this game. I'd say the biggest problem in her kit right now is light cone options. Acheron's signature light cone is by far the biggest power spike for any character in the game. Outside of Eidolons, of course. The difference in damage compared to her best 4-star option is 25%. Not only does it increase the damage Acheron does, but it also improves the rate at which she gets her ult since it applies a debuff as well. Every time you use Acheron's skill, it gives her 2 stacks of Slash Dreams. The difference between this light cone and literally every other option is insane. Oh yeah, since we're on the topic of Acheron's ult again, I should mention one more thing before wrapping up. Even at 9 stacks, you can build up 3 extra stacks to carry over into the next one. You rarely ever have to worry about overcapping the number of stacks for your next ultimate. Her ult is basically everyone's ult in a sense, since everyone is able to contribute to her ult charge. Anyways guys, that's why Acheron is the best DPS in the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to sub and like if you did. Let me know if you guys would like to see more Star Rail content in the future. Have a good night and day wherever you're at, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace and take care. Have a good one.